How do you fix turntable hum? Dynamo hum. Remember that song, Frank Zappa? Hey, Paul. Well, this question comes from JC in Miami, Florida. I've had my Audio Technica 120 LP without a ground wire for 3 years connected to an Onkyo receiver. I replaced the cartridge with MC1 Turbo from Ortofon, but noticed that the sound was extremely low. It's probably a moving coil. I had to put the volume to 35 to appreciate the music. Now, no hum at all. So, about a week ago, I purchased the Schiit Mani preamp phono stage, and the sound was incredible. I'll bet compared to a Marantz, or what did he have? An Onkyo. Now I have the volume at 20 or 22, but there's a pretty noticeable hum coming from the speakers. I have a Klipsch, a pair of speakers, the Klipsch R15s, and would greatly appreciate your input to fix this issue. Well, I believe what you have is a moving coil cartridge, and those are very sensitive, and the fact that your Onkyo did not hum and the Schiit audio does has me a little suspicious about grounding. So you mentioned you don't have a ground. Now, we've got kind of a this is a gorgeous turntable. This is the clear audio turntable. And we have a very expensive Lyra cartridge on there. And the combination of the Lyra and the clear audio table, I mean, it sounds pretty phenomenal. We've been playing Darren Myers, our engineer's new phono stage, the Stellar Phono, and beautiful sounding. Wait, if you have a chance at a dealer or something to hear it, you should take advantage of it. But anyway, so in the meantime, we're playing an older, this is our NPC. This is an older product, discontinued. And you can see that on the back, I've got a clip lead that's serving as a ground wire. Funky doodle, but it works. Now, not every phono preamplifier is wired the same. So I don't know anything about the Onkyo, but clearly they did something that either they used perhaps a fully differential input so that any kind of common mode noise on the output connectors would be reduced or eliminated, and maybe the Schiit is a single-ended design. Jason and Mike Moffat are very talented designers, and I don't know, you should ask them, but it could be. And in any case, if you're stuck with a phono amplifier design that is not helping with ground, in other words, well, let's back up a little bit. If you think about it, a phono cartridge is basically a coil of wire, 2 coils of wire, right? And you've got a magnet somehow moving close to that coil of wire. So the coil has a gazina and a gazouta, right? So it's just a coil of wire wrapped around, and as that magnet on the end of the needle, or in your case, the coil is on the end of the needle and the magnets are surrounding it, doesn't matter. As the magnet moves closer to the coil, it generates an electrical field. That's what we wind up hearing. Well, the point of this is that those 2 wires that are coming out, if you notice in the back of a cartridge, there are 4 wires, right? There's, red and blue and green and black or whatever they've got. Well, each of those 2 is the output of a coil. So here's the left coil and here's the right coil. And those then go into the phono preamplifier. In some phono preamplifiers, the one side of that coil is grounded and the other side goes into the amplifier. On others, like in our designs, and perhaps others, in fact I'm sure others, it's actually going into a differential amplifier so that both ends of the coil are going into an amplifier, and if there's any hum present that's common, that'll be eliminated through common mode rejection. But not all are designed that way, so you have to then be careful of grounding, and grounding is very important. It's instructive to remember that a turntable has a hell of a lot of gain, right? I mean, there's just the tiniest little signal coming out of here that has to go through all these wires, back over here, through all the hum generating pieces of equipment, and get out so that you don't hear anything with hum. It's a very gnarly problem. I'll give you a quick example. Our phono preamplifiers have a gain of 40 at 1 kilohertz. At 20 kilohertz, they have a gain of 60. That's a heck of a lot of gain. Just to give you a reference, a gain of 60 is the same as a voltage gain of 1,000. So imagine that you have just a tiny little signal coming out. We're amplifying that by 1,000 to try and then get that up to par. And then that's only moving magnet. To get a moving coil, you need 30 dB or 30 times more amplification to bring that up to a point where you can listen to it. So they're very tricky to design, to keep them low noise and low hum. And one piece of advice I can give you, because your turntable does not have a ground, this whole head shell here and many times the arm are metal, or they're conductive. So if you can use a screw or something on your turntable, this one's a little funky, but I don't imagine you have anything like that. Normally there's a way that you can hit the ground of the table, even though it doesn't have a separate ground wire, and you can use like a clip lead, or you can connect to, what I tell people to do is to hook onto the back of the phono preamplifier. So back of your shit, there's a lug or a place to put your ground wire. Take like a clip lead, and then as you're playing something, or even just with it sitting there and you have the hum, start poking around and find some place where the hum goes away. What you're doing is grounding that, and maybe it's just a screw. It's okay. Unscrew it, put your wire in there, you're good to go. So I think what you just need is turntable grounding, and you can do that even though the turntable does not have a ground in the way that I described. Good luck, and go hum free, my son. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.